For the past 3 months, we've been planning a life-changing story, taking us to a part of the world we've never seen before. We're here in the country of Rwanda, here to tell the most incredible story, and you guys are coming with us. Let me show you this apartment. Over the next 10 days, we're going to show you the true beauty of Rwanda through community, culture, connection, family, and a lot of food. Now, I definitely wouldn't be here documenting this if it wasn't for the people that I'm with here now. It's these guys that's going to help tell the most incredible story. Let's introduce them.
Ikaze mu Rwanda. That's how we say in Rwanda. I'm Jabo Butera. And I'm on this amazing journey today with Tom and the team to talk about the wonderful Jabulani brand. So we give you a little taste and flavor of what it is and the flavor.
My name's Christina and I'm director of Brand Biscuit Limited, and I met Jabo in January this year. So inspired by his story and what he's trying to achieve with the Jabulani Coffee brand, that we inspired this trip to come to the most beautiful place in Rwanda, and we're excited to tell his incredible brand story.
There's just one more person.
I'm Liz, I'm the marketing director at Owens Coffee, and Owens Coffee is the roastery that roasts Jabulani.
It's crazy to think that I can be somewhere like this with 3 people that I didn't even know 6 months ago, now on a trip like this. Mental. Stuff like this is amazing, right? He hasn't seen his family in ages. So in a nutshell, basically Jabo has brought us here, me, Liz and Christina, to meet his family. And some of these family members he's never met before. And a lot of these guys are his cousins and their brothers and their sisters, and he's never met them before. He's brought us here to experience this with him, which I think is incredible. Time to enjoy some more beers. Monday morning. Last night got a little bit too carried away, but it was fun. We enjoyed it. We're off to do a few bits and bobs around the city today, pick up a media pass for a big CHOGM event that's happening while we're here over the next few days. Let's go. I thought. It's been a few days since I've vlogged. Things haven't really gone to plan. I was meant to be doing media at the CHOGM event. I went to get my pass, and unfortunately there was a really big miscommunication. I was on the system but wasn't granted, so got a little bit confused. Jabo, who I'm here with,
I'm Jabo.
and Four, managed to pull up a few strings and managed to get into the event yesterday.
I'm Jabo.
And just done a little bit of networking and made some really cool connections. Anyway, I digress. Today is the main reason as to why I'm here in Rwanda. So it's 5 to 5 in the morning. Last night I travelled 2 hours outside of Kigali and stayed in a small town with a few locals to make sure that I'm here ready for a sunrise. So there's literally a board here full of loads of photos. Some of them are from like 1996. A lot of these I was speaking to the locals yesterday, and a lot of them are orphans. A lot of the kids are orphans from the genocide. So it's really nice to see people coming here and just making an impact. I don't give away too much now, and you're going to see plenty more throughout the vlog. But we're wanting to do stuff to help give back to these people. Absolutely amazing being here and just witnessing the hard work, passion, determination all of these guys are putting in to make sure that this coffee is the highest quality it can possibly be. Eco fair trade farm, which means that money gets put back in. There's a fair trade price on all the farms and the farmers. There's no sprays, chemicals sprayed on everything. It's all natural fertilizer, so everything about this farm is eco. I'm just watching everyone work and the process that they do to make sure that this coffee is the best it can be. Crazy. Now I feel incredibly lucky to be able to be here and be the one person that documents the story of this coffee. We often take for granted being at home drinking coffee. You can go to a shop, buy a cup of coffee, not understanding where the coffee actually comes from. And I'm working closely with Jabo, which is one of the colleagues that I'm here with, who sells this coffee in England, specifically in Plymouth. And I'm here to document the journey of how it's grown from the plant to then how it's sold in shops and what we drink. This is what it's all about. So we knew that Jabo, the client that I came here with to Rwanda, had a few surprises up his sleeves for this community here, for the farmers, for the people that keep this place running. So what you've just witnessed is he gave the president of this farm, who is a woman ran, I think 95% of the people that work here are women, which is incredible, actually incredible. So what you've just witnessed is they've just given 2 laptops to the president and the manager who's running this farm, and then all of the farmers, new tools, their tools that they're using every single day, books, Owens Coffee t-shirts, because Owens Coffee is the roaster of this coffee itself back in Ivy Bridge, Plymouth. And things like that to really give back to the community, to give back to the people that do everything here, all the hard work. It just goes to show the type of person he is, the character he is. which reflects on all the people here. I've never felt so welcomed in my whole life than being in Rwanda, coming here. And this farm, the work they're putting in is just incredible. We take it for granted so easily that we can just go to a coffee shop and drink coffee, but being here, actually understanding it as on the farm, seeing how much work goes into it and the process to make sure that that high-end grade coffee that we are drinking it's just, I'm speechless.
Because
Vincent, who's the manager of the farm, taught us all about the process and procedures they all follow to ensure this coffee grades the highest it possibly can, along with the organic practices they follow on the farm. The full documentary's on the channel. After immersing ourselves in the local culture and dancing, we headed back to Kigali, ready for another impactful day tomorrow.
Good morning. So after a super busy day yesterday on the coffee plantation, we are now on our way to a memorial site, going to a village all to do with the genocide. We've got our man David here, our tour guide, who's taking us to these villages. So what it is that makes this so important, this day so important, is understanding the culture, the history of Rwanda. So we're going to go to a village in which is directly impacted by the genocide. We're going to go to some of the genocide memorials where people were actually killed. We're going to 2 churches where 5,000 and 10,000 people were killed in each of the churches, and then go to a village in which a lot of these families were affected by the genocide, but then also rebuilt their lives through perpetrators and victims of the genocide. So super important day today.
Today we are visiting the reconciliation village, which is in a place called the Bugesera in Mbio village, which is in Mayanje sector, Bugesera district, where the perpetrators of genocide and the survivors of genocide live together in harmony, and they have intermarried. So the drive will take us 1 hour from here. Going there, we'll pass by 2 churches. One is called Narama Church, where they killed 5,000 people in the church. And then we have a second church which is called Nyamata Church, where we had killed around 10,000 people around that church. And then from there we'll go visit this village, where it's like a model village where they have intermarried, where the survivors have intermarried with the perpetrators. We're going to enjoy the food together and the local culture, handcraft, weaving, some braiding, cooking, farming, etc.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So on our way to this memorial now, David, our tour guide, is just pointing out to all of these places that we're passing, and there's so many graves and like memorial sites dotted around of all the people that were killed. There was over 1 million people killed, which is, when you think about it, how inhumane it is that people were running away trying to be safe, get away from the terror, but in terms of actually running away to places that they were killed.
Killers would kill people, throw their bodies in River Kagera, the body flow into the Nile and go into Lake Victoria.
Oh wow, all that way.
So in 1994 they had to stop people from eating fish in Lake Victoria because they were feeding on the corpses.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So this is the bridge we're passing, and this is the Kagera River.
I think what makes today so crazy is that there isn't just 1 or 2 memorial sites. There's loads dotted all around Rwanda, let alone the places that we're just here at visiting today. There's places that you pass dotted all around that resembles the history of what happened here 28 years ago. And when you think about it like that, 28 years ago, it doesn't feel long ago at all. So before we go into the church we've just arrived at, I just want to explain to you guys that I do aim to be completely respectful in this sort of circumstance. This is where people like us, human beings, have came and lost their lives to the thousands. So I know there's a few keyboard warriors out there to probably say, oh, you shouldn't be vlogging. I just want to explain that I got invited here after meeting a contact a few days ago to come and witness this for myself. They've gifted this tour to us free of charge, just for us to experience it, to understand the culture, to understand the history. So no keyboard warriors out there explaining that I shouldn't be doing this. I've been invited here for a reason.
In general, genocide started on 7 April 1994. The Tutsi were alive to this allowance. This allowance called in Harama. It is a sector in Harama. They began to fed here from 1909 and they continue to fed here. But on 15 April 1994, the killers came here and they were killed. The Tutsi. They were tied here. More 5,000 were killed here, but not more 5,000 were killed here, but not inside the church. Inside the church, outside, and inside the small house. In general, the Tutsi were killed in this place, this Moa 5,000, were killed on 15 April 1994. And genocide they continue because it started on 7, but they continue to kill the Tutsi. Yeah. But this area of Gesera, genocide stopped on 14 May, but another place, genocide they continue. After genocide, this place becomes a memorial because many Tutsi were killed here. And this memorial site also, they have 3 parts, the church and the garden also, and the small house around the church. Yeah, from outside, the killers they used the grenade.
I'm actually lost for words. There's so many of the memorials in which we've just been in, and again I haven't filmed for, I don't need to explain why, but hundreds of clothes, mattresses, skulls, names of people, real human beings like us, who came here and lost their lives. This is obviously now a memorial site where people come here to pay respects, and again what I'm saying is I've been invited here to experience this and somewhat document it and show you guys the history of things that happened and the places that people have now been put to rest, or real things that people have lost and are now here forever. You can only imagine how many people were crammed in one room. The screams, it's very harrowing to think about what went on, the history of what went on. So we're going on to church number 2. David, our tour guide, has said that he has family members that were killed in this church from the genocide. 3 families of his were killed in this genocide in the church that we're heading to. I appreciate being here. I appreciate people like David, who has been through this himself, he's losing family, taking us to places that he himself has lost people. So we've just arrived to church number 2. Again, I'm only going to vlog
So
what
this
I can.
is the
out of
Nyamata
respect.
Church, where they killed 10,000. This is the first Catholic church in this area. Now, after it was turned into a memorial site, the Catholic Church built a new church just far from here. Okay. Genocide in this area started in 1992 because they first practiced genocide in this area in 92. Again, when you enter the memorial, you realize why they tested genocide here. Because there was some Italian lady who worked here as a humanitarian, and they saw the killings. Then he went on the international media, BBC, to tell them what's happening. Then they came and killed her. She used to live just behind there. So you see her grave there. Again, inside, there's a very touching story of a woman, a beautiful woman who lived here. When the killers came, they raped her as a group. But sad enough, they got a sharp stick and pierced her through her private parts, and so you see she's buried in a grave alone. If you enter, very horrible story. You see mass graves outside. In each coffin, they put around 40 skulls. Because how do we know the numbers? Is because they counted skulls. They were counting skulls. That's why we know this is how many people who died here. So you will see in each mass grave there are over 100 coffins. And then you see more skulls. Okay? Yeah. The message says, we will keep remembering you. The victims of genocide against Tutsi in 1994.
So now that we've been to the two memorials, the two churches, and understood and been somewhere as to where the genocide happened, or two of many places where the genocide happened, understanding the story, we're now on our way to a village where there's survivors of the genocide, orphans, but also the perpetrators, the people that did the killing, have came to create a new life. Once the genocide ended, a lot of the killers were either imprisoned or asked for forgiveness. And through their forgiveness, they had to do prison time, but also community time. And that community time is about what we are going to go and witness, and just see that they're now one country, Rwanda. They're all one. They're trying to see past the history as to what's happened, the people that killed, the people that are lost, and all come together and rebuild a new life. So this is where we're heading. We're heading to a town where there's survivors and also people that were part of this genocide, the killers, and see the new life that they've all tried to rebuild together. Just been eating some peanuts, my mouth's clammy.
After introducing ourselves, we listened to 4 very powerful and moving stories from both the survivors and the perpetrators of the genocide. These were 4 people speaking on behalf of the millions affected. These stories moved me. People admitting they had killed, people explaining what they had witnessed, and people telling their stories of how they survived. These people are all now living in harmony and are now building a new life together.
Zabwira amahanga ko nabohoye u Rwanda, nzigisha abatoya amateka koso, nzakorera igihugu cyacu bigikwiriye, nzahesha agaciro abagituyemo ubu nkeneye cyane ibitekerezo bya data na mama n'abasogokuru kugira ngo mbone uko nubaka mu mahoro u Rwanda ruzira
He's taking them to the studio. They've never been to the studio. Yes. Let's go there to the studio and you pay for it.
David, I appreciate you. Thank you. Show us your badge.
Go!
Anyone in Rwanda, this is the man you need to see.
Sure. Welcome.
6 a.m. in the morning, and we're about to head out on a safari tour. Made it to Akagera National Park. We're hopefully going to see some of the big five. Cheers. Cheers. So after the most amazing 10 days, this trip has officially come to an end. I'm just sat here reflecting on all the things that we've seen and achieved while being here. This is my first time that I've been in Africa, let alone in Rwanda, and I'm just thinking about all of the community, the love, the unity, the history of everything that has happened here in Rwanda. You got to try and think that it was only 28 years ago that they went through the most unimaginable history possible of the genocide, where over 100 days, over 1 million people lost their lives. Everywhere you go, there is always that part of history is still embedded in them and everything that they do. But everyone's sort of moving on from it. And it's crazy to think that although what happened, there is so much love to give. I've been to the Kenya region and seen some of the most amazing people and procedures of this coffee, watching this coffee be picked to the point where it's then washed and exported to the UK from where we see it as the coffee we drink. But also going to the Akagera National Park and seeing all of the rhinos, the elephants, the giraffes, the buffaloes, everything like that. I don't exactly know where I'm going with this, guys, but just being here and sat in reflection, just thinking about all the things that I take for granted, and yet there's people here that generally have nothing and yet have so much love to give. So what I'm just trying to tell you guys is to just appreciate the small things in life. Tell people you love them, appreciate your wins. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed the vlog, guys. There's a lot of stuff I haven't vlogged just because I wanted to appreciate the being in the moment. I've been taken out for a meal and stuff today too, so I'm just reflecting on what a nice, amazing last day we've had. I'm blabbing on. That's it from me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Woo!